So hi, so Pavel and me are not today in a Skype call with Kevin, who is in Spain right now. So Kevin, who are you? Could you introduce yourself and why are you in Spain?
Oh, my name is Kevin. Kevin Parsons. I'm here with my two brothers, Ian and Shawn, and we left Ukraine, and we are currently taking refuge in Spain, and we are trying to see how we can continue with our lives and education, work, and everything. So that's it for now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you were before students in Ukraine.
Yes, we're students in Kharkiv, Ukraine.
Okay. And you had a stop here in Leipzig, so we got to know each other already when you were here in Leipzig. Like I think it was your first longer stop after you fled Ukraine.
Yes, we stayed in Leipzig for I think about a month.
Okay, so for 4 weeks, about a month, and at one point you also texted me that you decided to go to Spain. Could you tell us a little more how the situation came up that you chose Spain rather than Germany as the country you wanna be? Hmm?
The major reason why I decided to come to Spain was the aspect of education, because I was in my second year of medical school, and I wanted to continue with my course. So for the time I was in German, I was trying to see how I can be enrolled in the education system and continue, but there was a major factor of the language, where I had to first do a language course up to a certain level and get a certificate. And also, I got to learn that the selection of students to join medical school in German is quite selective. It's quite competitive, even for German students. So I weighed the odds and realized that it might not be favorable for me to get into this system, because it will have to take me maybe at least a year or more to be able to enroll in a German public school, because I wouldn't be able to afford a private school, because private schools, they're good, but the costs were quite high. So I wanted to join a public school in German, but this wasn't the case. So I did not I did not decide to leave this idea. I just decided to come to Spain and see how it is here, and see if I can get an invitation, and see if I can join the public school here in Spain. So in Spain as well, before going, I knew that I had to do a language course, but Spanish language compared to German language, I decided that I would be doing Spanish, because it would be easier for me, because I'm a native English speaker. So it wouldn't be as complicated for me. And the university told me that part of their academic hours were in English. So I wanted to come to Spain and try and get an invitation at the public university, though it wouldn't be free like German, but the costs were favorable, because they were similar to the costs I was incurring in Ukraine. So that's why I decided to come to Spain and try. And then I left some things in German, so that if Spain wouldn't work out, then I would still come to Leipzig and try to continue my studies from there. But when I got to Spain, I realized that they were much more flexible in terms of giving residency, even to third country nationals. So that's why I decided to take the residency here in Spain, because when you get the residency, even in a particular city, you are not registered only to that city. You can move anywhere in Spain, which was different from German, where you were registered to one city. So that's why I decided to move to Spain. And yes.
Okay, and did you have some friends over there, or it was just more official informations that were a reason for you to go to Spain? Like, how did you decide for Spain exactly? Or you researched it, or somebody told you?
My main reason to come to Spain was to get an invitation, an admission to a language course at a public university, which would be reason enough for me to stay in the country. So when I came here, I did not know about the information that they were giving international protection or residency for a year to everyone. even non-Ukrainian. So it was more of a trial and error method since the transport was free in the EU for the Ukrainian refugees. I decided to use that chance and come and try. So when I reached here, I realized that, oh, they are giving residency for 1 year, can access work and school. And I said, maybe that's okay. Let me try this.
Okay. And how is your housing situation of you and your two brothers right now? Where are you living right now?
Oh, the Red Cross took us in and they took us to a hotel. It's called the Hotel Nastasi. It's in Lleida. So I got a room. It's a hotel room. It has one big bed and one small bed, and it has a bathroom. It has the washroom itself. It has everything, but then it's free. And we asked them for like how long can we stay, but then they told us that they did not give us a deadline. They just now brought us here and they give us breakfast, they give us lunch, and they give us supper. They give us 3 meals a day, but they do not give us maybe like like cash. They do not give us any sort of cash. They just provide all the social needs, all the basic needs. They provide laundry services, they provide cleaning services, they provide everything. And then once a week, they come here and give us counseling, legal counseling on how we can get around in the country, depending on your own personal needs, what you would like to achieve. And then later, when you go to get your residency, then you can talk to a lawyer about your legal status and everything you want to do in the country. So we are just waiting to see what will happen in the next few days.
And if you're comparing those first weeks in Spain to your first weeks in Germany, when it comes like also to little things like the way that the workers treat you, or how is the like daily life organized, what could you say about this?
Okay. On my way to German, I was on my way to Berlin, but comparing like the first moments within the country, I will compare German and Spain. So entering German, I entered from Dresden, and then the authorities, they said that they would like to register us into the country, like to all those legal procedures. So they said it wouldn't take long. So we got our luggage, we got our everything, our documents and everything, and they told us to leave the train and then go to the offices and register. That was in Dresden, but we were going to Berlin. We wanted to go to our embassy, the embassy of my country in Berlin. It's in Berlin, the embassy of Uganda. So that's where I wanted to go. But then we were stopped at Dresden and they told us that they wanted to do some data collection. So we reached there. They photocopied our passports and our Ukrainian IDs and our fingerprints, and then they told us to wait. So we waited the whole night actually, and then at around it was at the train station actually where we waited. So we waited the whole night up to around 5:30 in the morning. That's when they told us that we could actually searched us, and they told us that we are going to apply for asylum. So after that, at 5:30, the police vehicle came and took us. We were not many. We were mainly non-Ukrainians. So the authorities came and then they took us to the main police station away from the train station, where we waited for like another hour or two as they brought everyone. And then they make you sign papers. They give you a translator who explains to you whatever you are doing. Then we signed some papers, and then they took our passports and Ukrainian IDs, and then they gave us an address of a place in Leipzig where we were going to go to pick our documents. And then they said we can stay there until everything is finalized. So when we reached there, we found out it was a camp, and then we waited maybe for like an hour. This was the afternoon of the next day. We waited for like an hour, and then there were some people who were leaving the camp, and then we were taken into the camp. So those were the first moments here in those were the first moments in German. So for Spain, as soon as we reached Barcelona and we left the train station, there were people, the Red Cross, who were receiving people from Ukraine and handing them kinds of papers with translations from Ukrainian to Spanish, like small Spanish phrases and everything. Then they put us in a public transportation, a bus. Then they took us to the city center in Barcelona. It's like I did not get to. It's like a tourist attraction. I don't know exactly. It's like a square. So, but there was like a hall. So once we reached there, we lined up, and everyone was given a number. Then you come. They tell you that there is no space in Barcelona because many people have already taken up the places. But if you can fill out this form and tell us where you're from, what would you like to do in Spain, which work can you do, and that's all. And then we shall provide for you accommodation and food and health services. We asked them for how long can we be taken care of. They said that they did not give us a time limit. They said when the Red Cross gives you a place to stay, they will not give you a time limit until maybe you get something to do for yourself. So after that, we waited for like 2 hours. Then a bus came and took us to the hotel where we spent the night, and we have been staying ever since. You can go to the city, you can move around. The public transport is free, but we still have our documents and everything. So we are just waiting to get the international protection. So if I'm to compare, I think Spain was a bit more lenient, and German was a bit more strict in terms of the proceedings.
Yeah. And one one could add that the police took the passport without a legal basis, so to say, because you kind of knew that you shouldn't apply for asylum, and that there was this option of international temporary protection. Yeah.
Yes. So we tried to get our passports for like the first 2-3 weeks. I think the first 2 weeks before I contacted Jomark, we were trying to obtain our passports, but it was not as easy, because we would go to the camp. They would tell us to go to the Foreign Affairs office. Then they would tell us to go here. So we did not know exactly where to get our passports from. Yes. So that's when one of our friends at the camp told us that they had gotten in touch with you. That's when we decided to come to you. But then again, we tried to go to the office and said we could not go there without an appointment. So we had to go to the camp and look for an appointment. And then we told them that we want our passports back because we want to leave the country. But we were just saying that so that we can pressure them into giving us our documents, because we felt that our documents we were not comfortable with our documents being held.
Of course.
Yeah. No, it is. They are obliged to give them back and quickly. So, but there are still people who are waiting for their passports. At least 4 or 5 people now. Yeah, and they are still they really messed that up. Yes.
But did you? Because it seems you had a lot of contact with police in Germany, and in Spain it was mostly Red Cross workers that were communicating you what is their situation, or it's also police is involved.
Maybe there is security, in the sense that you can see security in case there is a problem, but like the direct police, like authorities approaching you and asking you questions, we have not yet had that in Spain. It's mostly the Red Cross. Yes.
Yeah. And it happened in big numbers. One could add maybe this to the passport story, that many people were affected, and that the responsible ministry in the German government didn't have numbers even on how many passports the federal police took. As far as I'm informed, there are no numbers yet, and considering that it's quite a scandal actually, because whose passports were taken away, those who are not Ukrainian, those who are not white. It's it's a racist practice by the police that was being done. We have one last question, or maybe a couple of questions on your future plans. What are you going to think? What is going to happen to you in the future? Also, considering that considering the war and the developments in Ukraine.
Yeah, and maybe you can say if what offer is the university giving you? You are already contacted. You've visited the university building, or you talked with some workers from or students from the university.
I have contacted about 2 universities, but I have not contacted them physically. I have been contacting them by phone calls or by mail, and I contacted them, and they told me that they are language courses. They are language courses for people coming from Ukraine. But then there are 2 kinds. There is one where me individually I can access a language course to the university. I can just apply for a language course at the university, and then I will not be under the refugee program. But then there are also refugees who are being taught separately because they are going to be staying in the country, not for study purposes. They are like free language programs for these people. But then me personally, I want to enroll in a language program under a university where I want to continue my medical degree. So, and they told me that they will have these language programs in summer where I can enroll and begin. So once I begin this language course, I can take it and then obtain a certificate and then continue with my course, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Wish you luck.
Maybe just one last question, because it was striking to me. All the 3 of you, all the 3 brothers, study different things, right?
Yes, yes.
What are your 2 brothers studying?
Oh, me, I'm studying medicine. My elder brother is studying architecture, and then my elder brother after him is studying civil engineering, and then I was studying medicine. But they were in a different university, and I was also in my own university, but in the same city.
Okay, all right. So good luck for all the 3 of you in Spain then. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck, and hopefully you're going anyway to pick up your stuff, and we meet also in touch, and we can continue the story. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, Mark has helped us a lot because he's the one who helped us to leave the camp and then get accommodation. Because actually, the people who helped us most in German were not the actual people in the system in charge of refugees. They were actually civilians and just people helping us because we were hosted by 2 different German households for free, and we got a chance to be registered in a city, and then we're actually, things were actually starting to get better because we managed to leave the camp and everything was okay. So thank you guys so much for what you did.
One more question that just popped up, like, did Spanish authorities say anything about you being registered in Leipzig? Like, you already gave your name here, they didn't say anything? Okay.
No, because we were registered in a city, but we were not, maybe we hadn't gotten any kind of residency, so they did not. There was no issue there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
So now, okay, bye bye.